Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. As you can see, I got a cornucopia of, that's a nice word, isn't it? A cornucopia of Bluetti products. Bluetti just came out with these two new products, the AC180 and the AC60. And this new one too, this is a battery only. This is the B80 battery. And so it kind of, upset the balance. And I thought I would give you an overview again of all the smaller Bluetti units to help you decide which one is the one that's best for you. So let's talk about what they all have in common. This is the new B80 battery, and by B80, that means it has 800 watt hours of battery inside it. You can charge it with 200 watts of solar, and it connects directly to the new AC60 with this cable. And this cable is out and available and will come with the B80. They will have a new cable that will connect it to all of the other lineup. So that means you can now add a 800 watt hour battery to all of them. As far as I'm concerned, that really changes things. And it makes the buying decision substantially more difficult to know which one is better for you. So they will all work backwards compatible to the new B80 battery when it comes out. I'm sorry, but I don't know yet the pricing on the new B80 battery, the new AC60 or the AC180. And these are both EBs. This is the EB3A, which is pretty darn small. This is the EB70S, and I'm missing one. I just didn't happen to have one around, and that's the EB55. This is 268 watt hours. The EB55 has 537 watt hours. This EB70S has 716 watt hours. And weirdly enough, this AC60 only has 403 watt hours. It's a step down, which is a puzzler to me. I don't understand that. And then finally, you have the AC180, which has 1,152 watt hours. Huge jump. So now let's look at the overview and see how they're all alike. They all have Life Power batteries, and most of them are at 2,500 cycles. I believe the AC180 is at 3,500, but you'll have to look at the details. I'm not completely sure of that. These will all take 200 watts of solar coming in, and the AC180 will take 500. You can see it's a bigger unit. It's a jump up. I assume it's a jump up in price, but I won't know the pricing yet. It is certainly a jump up in size. So they will all take 200 watts of solar, except for this, which will take 500. That's really good. You want to get at least 200 watts of solar in. Now, of course, the inverter is different because no point in getting a much bigger inverter than the battery will handle. EB3A has a 600 watt inverter. The EB55, which I don't have here, has a 700 watt inverter. The EB70S has an 800 watt inverter. The AC600 has a 600 watt inverter. So it's both a smaller battery and a smaller inverter. And then the AC180 has 1,152 watt hour battery and an 1,800 watt inverter. So of all of these, if you want to run a microwave, this is the AC1800 is the only one that will run a microwave. It's the only one of them that will run almost any large draw appliance. So a toaster, I've got a toaster, it will run just fine. Nothing else here will run a toaster or a microwave or anything. One of the big questions that people always have is, what will run a fridge? We all like to have the 12-volt compressor fridges, and they have come down so much in price that most of us can afford one. $200 would buy you a pretty good 12-volt compressor fridge. And so the big question is, which power station will run it? And I know you're going to disagree and you're going to be disappointed. Of all of these, only the AC180 will run a 12-volt compressor fridge, no matter what size it is, because you need 1,000 watt hours to run it. Now, I know a lot of you will say that's not true. I know you can run one on less. The EB70 with its 700 watt hour battery, you should be able to run it on that. And my answer is yes. It's summertime. We got lots of daylight. Sun's coming in. Yes, with the bigger battery, this would run it over the summer. However, they will not run it over the winter, because over the winter you have a very narrow amount of good sunshine. The sun is always much lower on the horizon. That's just the nature of winter. And the further north you go, the lower on the horizon gets. You get up to Alaska. I happen to know that in January and February, that baby is just coming up over the horizon. It's down around here. Even in the south of the United States, in Quartzsite, Arizona, for example, Yuma, Arizona, which is right on the Mexico border, the sun is really low in the horizon. It comes up late in the day. It sets early in the day, and you have long nights. So these, you need a bigger battery. None of these, nothing here, will run it in the winter. Maybe the summer. The EB70 would probably run it in the summer. It's the only one. And the AC 180 will run it year round, just all by itself. So like I said, they've just come out with this battery, new battery, and it's 800 watts. And they're going to put out a backwards compatible cable, which will connect it to all of these. All of these will take this new battery, and then that changes the whole game. The smallest one at 268 watts, you add an 800 watt hour battery, now you're at 1,000. And now this combination would run a fridge year round. And even more so, the EB55 has a 518 watt hour battery. And I tell you, the one that intrigues me the most is the EB70S and a battery. Let me stick that on here and show you what that would look like. Now you have 700 watts and 800 watts. You have 1,500 watt hours of battery. That's a lot of battery. One of the best things about the new B80 battery is it will take its own 200 watts of solar. And then this will take 200 watts of solar. Between the two of them, you can charge the two of them all day with 400 watts of solar. And then with that big battery, 1,500 watt hours battery, you're set. You buy this combination, and man, you're cooking. You still are limited in the inverter. You're still not going to run a toaster. You're not going to run a microwave. However, again, this is a game changer on all of them. It changes all the math. You can buy any one of these on the best deal, best price, add this to it, and now you can run your fridge. Even the smallest one, the EB3A, which is a fantastic. This thing is amazing. It's so feature rich. Even this, with the battery, you're at over 1,000 watt hours. You're good. Now, for my money, and I don't know what the price yet is going to be on the new AC60 and then AC80, 180. Sorry, keep saying that. It's 180. This has its 1,152 watt hours. You add an 800 watt battery, and you're just shy of 2,000 watt hours. But it will take in 700 watts of solar. This will take in 500. The battery will take in 200. That's 700 watts of solar coming in, almost 2,000 watt hours of battery. Man, this is a system. Now, the big plus to the 200, AC 200, either P or Max, is it comes with a 2,000 watt hour battery and a 2,000 watt inverter. And then you can still add more batteries to it. So you can add a 2,000 watt hour battery. So you could have 4,000 or 6,000 watt hours to your AC 200 Max. So, but it's a whole nother level. It's for if you've got an RV or you've got a cabin or you want to put it in your house in case there's a power outage. It's a whole nother ballgame. For most of us, this is the market we're in. And which one should you buy? Again, if you want to run large appliances, it's got to be the AC 180. It's the only one that'll do it. One more feature that sets, as far as I'm concerned, sets the AC60 apart. It is the only one here that's IP66 rated. And by that means it's a certain degree waterproof and dustproof. And these are outside a lot. You know, if you've got I got 400 watts of solar sitting out here. I'm probably going to bring this out, tuck it under the solar panels, and just let it charge there all day. Well, what if it starts raining all of a sudden and I hadn't expected it? Or a wind comes up and blows in all that dust. Well, all of these others are at risk, but with IP66 rating, it is not. So to my mind, that's a huge consideration. The AC60 will take 2 batteries because it uses this unique cable and has 2 inlets. So you could actually come up to 2,000 watt hours with the AC60, but you're still not riding a microwave. But it has got a lot of expandability up to 2,000 watt hours. And for a lot of you, that's the most important thing. Big battery, 600 watt hour, 600 watt inverter is enough for, 99% of your uses. So there you go. They all have LifePo 4. They all take at least 200 watts. They all will adapt to the new battery. They're all a great choice. Buy on price. And then if you think about adding in the battery, then my goodness, they become complete wonderful systems, all of them. Normally, I think the EB3A added the battery in, got 1,000 watt hours of battery, and that's a great choice because it's going to be cheaper. It's just cheaper, and it's a great power station. Or the EB70S. I think this and the power station is probably your best bet for your money. Again, it just depends on what's on sale. All right, now I happen to have this old Jackery here. This is a Jackery 500. This is the most current model of the 500, and I'm going to do a quick comparison. And I know that I'm going to make some of you mad. You hate it when I diss on Jackery. Jackery is a great company. They make good products. In its day, this is 4 years old and hasn't changed in 4 years. 4-year-old technology is an antique, and that's what this is. This is an antique. It has no battery expandability, and that's becoming almost essential anymore. It doesn't have a USB-C port. I mean, come on. USB-C is now standard. How can you not have, well, it's 4 years old. So and there's no power delivery ports because there's no USB-C. And to my mind, that's really poor. It's got a lithium ion battery. That means that they say it gets 500 cycles. All of the Bluettis get a minimum of 2,500 cycles, 5 times the life of the battery. That's what the manufacturer says. 5 times the life. That reason alone, you should not buy this Jackery. You can't connect it to an app. All of these have a Bluetti app, and it works just fine. There's no turbo charging on the Jackery. All of these have turbo charging to some degree. The AC180 is phenomenal charging. The turbo on the AC180 will take 1,500 watts out of your electrical outlet. Man, it charges fast. From the factory, the Jackery doesn't come with an MC4 connector. It does use a standard 8mm, which is really common. I think all of these use an 8mm, so that's common. But not to have a cable from MC4, you've got to go and buy one. If you lose the cable, also Jackery solar panels are double the price of any other solar panel. So you don't buy a Jackery solar panel. You're paying twice the money, and you're not getting any more. You can buy 3 cheap 200-watt solar panels for the price of one Jackery 200-watt solar panel. Don't even think about it. The Jackery doesn't have wireless charging. All of these have wireless charging. You almost certainly have a newer iPhone or newer Samsung or any of the brand names. You just set it right on here and it charges. You don't have to plug it in. It just charges. Of course, this is 4 years old. Wireless charging didn't exist 4 years ago. So an antique like this isn't going to have that feature. Again, 4 years ago, this was the best thing you could buy. No question about it, hands down. Today, it's not even in the running. Don't even consider this. Now, there are some others. EcoFlow is making a really good unit. Anchor has come into the market. Anchor makes really good stuff. They make a really good unit. It's not Bluetti or nothing. It's just not this Jackery, okay? It's not this Jackery. And I definitely would compare to the EcoFlow and the Anchor, A-N-K-E-R, because they make some really good power stations. I just know these because I own a bunch of these. They've sent them to me. I've tested them. And I know how fantastic they are, and the prices are good. And make sure you buy LifePo 4. Don't buy anything that isn't LifePo 4. If you're buying on size, which, that's not a bad reason to buy if you're in a car and you don't have any room. Look at this. The EB3A beats everything else on size. You add in this battery, and then you've got a great combination. You can tuck this in a little hole and this into a little hole, and man, you are cruising. If you want the most bang for your buck, I believe that's going to be the EB70S, 700 watt hour battery, good size, all the features you can want. The AC60 has the advantage of you can run 2 batteries into it. And so between the 2 batteries, you got 2,000 watt hours, IP66 rating. To my mind, it might last much longer because the dust and water aren't going to kill it. And then finally, the AC180. This is the one I'm going to choose. I will probably keep this. I don't keep them. I give them all away because I don't have any need for them, but I love this. So I will keep this and that battery, and between them, it'll do everything I need. So again, compared to the next model up, the AC200, the size and the weight makes this a killer deal. Killer deal. Don't know the price yet, but I think it'll be a really good price because these are actually fairly stripped down models. They don't have a lot of exceptional features. Well, they almost have no features, but what they do super well. All right, I'll stop. I know you get tired of this. That's the current state of the Bluetti lineup. I think it's the best on the market. I think unless you get a super deal on an EcoFlow or an Anchor or a cheap no-name, I'm actually testing a cheap no-name just because they're cheap, and a lot of you don't have any money. And why, if you can get a really good one for really little money, let's find out if they work. I'm testing a cheap one now. But I think the Bluetti is the name to buy unless you get a super deal on something else. And it's going to be one of these. And if you need a tiny, the EB3A, if not, the EB70S, or you want to run a microwave, then the AC180. You want to run a house, you want to have big expandability, AC200 packs. I have a review on the 180, and I think because it's the best one, it's the one I would choose. So check those out. Okay, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube. Go ahead. Why not? Not going to cost you a thing. Like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.